Christ in us. That is why Paul said, I was crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who is living, but rather Christ living in me. I represent, I am the Sometimes I wonder or think that maybe people will buy batteries in the next century and they'll be flying from here to USA without flying on the basket. And they are flying using technology. So the way I'm thinking, if you think it is impossible, wait for 50 years. Flesh bone of my bone. He was committing to keep her safe. Is there any person who doesn't keep safe their body? But Eve, Adam did not keep her safe. And the devil intruded. There are so many men who are not keeping safe for their families. We usually say that Eve really disappointed us. Even the punishments. Adam is the one who received more punishments. Imagine only God telling Eve that you shall give birth. But God told, out of your sweat you shall get bread. Because of you, the earth is cursed. You shall dig, it shall never grow. And only thorns will come out of your crops. But when God came to Eve, you shall give birth. If you don't keep safe of your family, the thugs will come in. If you don't keep safe of your family, the vagabonds will come in. You man, if you don't keep safe of your family, demons will come in. So if children suffer from demons, the issue is not for women. Another thing he failed to do, he failed to give rules and regulations in the home. Many of the families, they are living like Eden. It's only women who are giving rules. So if a woman is the one who gives the rules and regulations in the family, so you are still in the same style. You have an issue because that family has been attacked. I will request for a song. I thought of asking someone to sing it, but probably the one I would give a chance doesn't have a voice to sing the song. I will call you Father as a team, and I will tell you the song. We are grateful to the Lord for this beautiful day. A day that has never been and shall never come again. A day we are living and we are grateful to the Lord. If you value this day, please give a round of applause to God. We recognize the presence of the visitors in the midst of us. Beginning with our online church. Some of them love us, but they have never reached here. And they support us in everything we do. And we do love them as well. Please join me and we give them a round of applause as we celebrate the Lord. We have visitors in the midst of us today. But we have also members who had traveled. Elder Videli has been in evangelism in Kenya. Let's request everyone who had traveled to stand up. If you had traveled, please raise up and we recognize you. I can see it's only Elder Videli. Pastor Nathan had also traveled to Europe, but he arrived this morning. Probably he will join us in the afternoon. Okay. Wow, okay. Let me request whoever who think that we may. Anyone who thought we will welcome them as a Foursquare member, please get standing. I can see some members standing. I can see some members. You can see some women that side. We have also two more people. So, let's celebrate and appreciate the Lord because of them. We are happy to have you, and you are going to receive forms. And in this month, we are planning to welcome whoever has joined. And we shall plan ahead of time to speak with you. We have visitors who are coming from other churches or places. Some we know them and others we do not know them. I'm beginning from people who have come from Australia. I've seen Alice. Please get standing. She's sitting behind. So she's the fiancée to Clema, and Clema, please get standing. Deborah nawe yasengeye ikabuga mu rusengero rwacu. Impamvu mbavuze nuko Clema niwe muntu ujya umfata mu modoka nkigera ku kibuga muri Kenya. We na Alex mwamonye acuranga wano umukristo wacu yaragarutse nawe nahaguruke. Alexi is also our church member. He's now back in Kigali. Sometimes we mention people's names because of a reason. So 4 years ago, every time I travel to Kenya, at zero cost on our side. Clema hosts us and picks us at zero cost. And he drives us in his own car. Which is to get na madame twasanze adahari ariko yabimenye ko tugiye kugenda ateguza mukuru wiwe bavuka nakurikira abari uza kudutega iminsi yose twamazana ne watujyanaga. Previously, when we traveled with Pastor Solange, he made sure to organize with his elder brother. Umufiansa waraza na Deborah araza nimwene mbese bya bindi yake yandashobora kuba nabo. So but when I reached to Australia, his fiancée did the same with Deborah. Turabakunda. We love you. Ko mutukunda natwe. We love you because you love us. Mbasiza aho ngaho. I'm stopping from
hari abandi
there.
bantu bavuye muri Amerika na umuryango wanje
There are some of my family members coming from USA.
ka mbasaba abantu bavuye muri Iowa niba bari hano twari dufite ubukwe bwo mu muryango ejo bahaguruke tubakirire hamwe.
Let me see people coming from Iowa State if they are in the congregation to get standard.
Barahari navuze abavuye muri Amerika Ruhumuriza Semandwa nawe fasha muramubona inyuma n'umugore wiwe fasha nawe kabisa niwa igihe cyose twari muri Amerika muri twigeze kujyana n'umuryango Madame Butoto we simbavuga bose amazina ngo bikunde ariko nawe yatudrivinze amasaha 7 adukura Iowa atujyana kibuga cy'indege Chicago umuryango wanje wose wari mu biganza by'uriya muhungu wice hari inyuma murumva icyo bivuga nawe iyo tugeze hariya bitewe na state twagiyemo dusanga abantu Imana yateguye badukunda kandi badushigikira niba zajye badufata neza nimwe baba bafashe neza.
So when they take care of Bishop and the pastoral team, they are taking care of the entire church, and we appreciate how they did it in Iowa. We are so glad to have you in this service. We know that you're family members and you do a lot when you support us. Let us request you to get seated. There are also people who have coming from UK. Please get standing so that we may welcome you.
So dukomere Imana amashi kubwiwe murabizi ko umuntu ageze hariya sinshobora kumenya ngo ninde ariko turashima Imana kubwiwe.
We thank the Lord for you.
Wow, namwibutse reka dukomere Imana amashi kubwawe.
Let's appreciate the Lord because of the brother.
So twishimiye kubana nawe.
We are so happy to have
kadebe
you.
n'abandi bashyitsi bose bari hano bahaguruke tubakire abo tutamenye abavuye muri Canada abavuye mu Burayi abavuye kuva hafa muri Kenya banzabikaza n'abandi.
So let's see the whole of the visitors coming from Canada or other parts of the world. Nzabakiza from Kenya. We are so happy to have you. And we do love you. God bless you. I appreciate the youth. You did not listen to this. Let me begin with Pastor Juste, who is in charge of family ministry. So the preparations of the youth connection happened when I had traveled.
Pastor Juste Gendo Christophe na Huduma James bahaguruke bose.
Let's request Pastor Justin, Gendo Christophe and Apostle Huduma.
Ubu ahagarariye izo departement ku rundi ruhande ayoboye departement y'urubyiruko. James ni wowe wari uhagarariye komite nita ad hoc yateguraga igiterane cy'urubyiruko.
So Pastor Juste is the one leading the ministry, Ngendo is the youth leader, and Missionary James is the one who has been coordinating and leading the committee. You have really done an amazing job. We had a good conference. People who managed to be here. And those who followed online. We really had a good connection. We had good speakers. We had good debates and discussions. And we got to know people with their talents. Including Bigirinka Ale. We welcomed him to be a member in 2018. So the first day we introduced him to the church, he was the member, but he was going to do the wedding in Muhanga. So I communicated that after doing the wedding in Muhanga, he's going to come. Let's appreciate the Lord for the service leaders, those who led in the morning, and everyone who Particularly, I extend my gratitude to families. That the ones who contributed towards the connection. And then last night we hosted a dinner, 400 people plus. And the youth members of the church. Please, let's celebrate and appreciate the Lord for that. Any person who missed the dinner, please join others, because it will help you. So I will continue to speak further in the evening service. Bear with me, come forward. And I will not exceed the time that I intend to use.
Yes. Chance yagiye yasanze abana ubanza ashobora kuba ari we wayishobora ariko n'indirimbo yoroshe turayiririmbira hamwe ivuga ngo mwanyemera tugahaguruka twaririmba iyo ndirimbo.
Let's all get standing and we sing that song.
Kuko yaje gutyo muri iyo ndirimbo ndaza gusengera umuryango wa Alex.
And then thereafter, within that song, I'll pray for the family of Alexei. So people who follow services, this is the second time I'll be praying for him. So last time we had a revelation with Elder Abwirije, but it's still necessary for us to do for them. So I usually don't speak about specific people.
turi itorero ry'umwuka.
We are a Pentecostal church.
Hari ikintu umwuka mbwiye kigiye gukorwa.
There is something the Spirit has led me to
Ndasaba
do.
yuko madame wa Alex atambuka hano.
Let me request the wife to Alexi to come forward.
Wewe ngwino. Na Alex atambuke hano.
Together with Alexi.
Na Ange atambuke hano. Ange Damascene.
Ange Damascene, please come forward.
Hanyuma Ange shira mikrofone hasi wewe. Wewe shira mikrofone hasi hano. Mfatire uwo muntu munda, musengere muturutse inyuma. Hanyuma Ben nawe arasengera Alex nka kuriya. Solange atambuke asengere nawe afate Ange munda tubasengera. Nuko numvise kandi nijwi rindeze. Ibisinya mbikora mu materaniro ariko nuko turambura ibiganza. Mana turagushima, turi itorero riyoborwa n'Umwuka Wera. Iyo uvuze duhinda umushitsi, iyo uvuze turatinya. Ibi ntabwo twabizanye hano materaniro, ntabwo twabigambiriye, ariko wagambiriye ko bikorwa. Uzi impamvu twe tutazi, uzi gahunda zikozwe muri uyu mwanya. Wigeze kubwira Yoshua ngo azenguruke Yeriko karindwi. Icyo wagomba gukora waragikoze kuri kiriya gihe. Uyu munsi mwana hari ibintu bihindutse. Uyu munsi mwana hari ibintu ukoze. Uyu munsi mwana iki ni igikorwa wavuze. Hagira ibintu bihinduka, hagira ibintu tubona, hagira ubuhamya buvuka, hagira imbaraga zigaragara mu izina rya Yesu. Amaraso ya Yesu arimo imbaraga. Tugukomeye amashyi menshi tugushima. Murakoze. Musubire mu mwanya wanyu. Nihuta tuganira ijambo ry'Imana.
Let's share the word of God.
Nasoma muri Yesaya 40.
We're taking our reading in Isaiah
Kubera yuko
40.
twahagaze umwanya ndasoma mwicaye.
We've been standing for a while. We shall read while you're seated.
Umurongo wa 31.
Verses 31.
Ibyo ntavuga ndaza kubivuga ari mugoroba.
Whatever I'll not mention, I will speak about it in the afternoon.
Yesaya 40.
Isaiah chapter 40.
Umurongo wa 31.
Verses 31.
Dusome mu izina rya Yesu. Kamere kuri 30.
Let's begin from verses 30.
Aravuga ngo abasore b'imigenda bazacogora baruhe, n'abasore bazagwa rwose, ariko abategereza Uwiteka bazasubizwamo imbaraga, bazasubizwamo intege nshya, bazatumbagira mu kirere bagurukisha amababa nk'ibisiga, baziruka be kunanirwa, bazagenda be gucogora. Mwakira ijambo ry'Imana.
Receive the word of God.
Biragoye mu minota mikeya dusigaranye.
It is difficult in the few minutes we are remaining with
kudevelopa iri jambo ngiye kuvugaho.
To develop the word I'm going to be speaking
ariko biranyoroheye kubera yuko ntaje kubwiriza kuri teme yavuzweho cyane.
But it is easy because I'm about to speak on the
kuva ku
theme.
munsi wa mbere Pastor Aaron Ruhimza ayivugaho.
Ever since Pastor Aaron Ruhimza began to speak about it,
kugeza ku munsi wo kuwa gatanu ubwo twari kumwe na Kivuye.
Till Friday when we are with Pastor Kivuye.
Navuze n'abandi bavuga butumwa hagati aho ngo bagiye baganira.
Without mentioning the names of different speakers we had.
Bo baganiraga tunabaza n'ibibazo.
So it was a panel and we were asking questions.
Twagiye tuvuga ku ijambo rivuga ngo wongera ubushobozi cyangwa ukorere mu bushobozi bwawe bw'ikirenga.
We were speaking about how to activate your full potentials or how to
kubera yuko abantu bafite ikibazo cyo gukoresha ubushobozi buke kandi bafite bwinshi.
Because people have an issue of using less of their potential, yet they have full potential.
Kugira ngo ntabatinza,
for me not to delay you,
ndavuga utuntu nka tune.
I'm going to speak like 4 things.
Kandi buri kose ndakavuga mu mwanya mutoya.
And everything I will speak it in a few minutes.
Nimugoroba wenda ndaza gukomeza nsobanura kiriya cyanditswe.
Probably in the evening I shall dig more into the scripture.
Ikintu cya mbere numvise nshaka kuvuga.
The first thing that I want to mention,
kubandika,
for those who are noting down,
nuko ubushobozi bw'ikirenga ni karemano ku muntu.
It is because the full potential, it is an inborn person.
Mu bintu byose Imana yaremye umuntu niwe yahaye ubushobozi bwuzuye.
In every creature, God only put the full potential in a human being.
Bivuga ngo twaremanywe ubushobozi.
Which means that we are created with potential.
Ushobora kubaho nk'utabufite.
Either you may live as if you don't have.
Ushobora kubumenya ntubwactive.
Either you may understand that you don't activate.
Ushobora gukoresha igice cyabwo.
You may also activate half of it.
Ariko muri wowe hari ubushobozi.
But in you there is potential.
Bwira mugenzi wawe mwicaranye.
Speak to the person next to you.
Ngo muri wowe hari ubushobozi.
There is potential in you.
Umugani w'italanto.
The parable of a talent.
Bimwe mu byo twigisha.
One of the things that he teaches us.
Nuko nta muntu Imana itahaye ubushobozi.
It is that there's no single person God did never give a treasure.
Bushobora kuba butandukanye kuko turatandukanye.
Yes, it is different as we are different.
Dukunze no kutabona ubwacu tukabona ubw'abandi.
And most of the time we do not see ours but we consider for the rest.
Dukunze no gusuzugura ubwacu tubugeranyije n'ubwo dutekereza abandi bafite.
And some of the times we despise ours comparing to what others have. But there is something I came to learn. When it comes to potential, there is no greater than the other. You should be not told that the other person is greater than you. That is a principle that I'm going to dig deep in. When God was creating a person, he spoke of a great thing. And he put it in action. He said that let us create a person in our own image. Let us create a man in our own image. And he shall have dominion. That is God who spoke such words. So it implies you were created in God's image. You are created in capacity of God. And you are created with the potential of God. Those who say that you cannot manage. So because people don't know you, they speak whatever they want. And because you don't know yourself, you receive whatever they speak about you. But today, this week, activate your knowledge that tells you that you are capable. Because you are created in God's image. Psalms chapter 8. The Bible says that he was almost making him as a God. Which means that a person, it is 99% of God. Minus 1 to be full God. And among those people you are inclusive. Let me elaborate this. When God was creating Adam,
bintu bikomeye yamuhaye ni nka bitatu.
3 great things, powerful things he gave them.
Icyambere yamuhaye
The first thing he gave him,
ni ishusho yayo.
his own image.
Icyakabiri yamuhaye
The second thing,
ni ubusabane nayo.
fellowship.
Icyagatatu yamuhaye
The third thing,
ni ubutunzi.
riches.
Gasobanure kuremwa mu shusho y'Imana icyo bisobanura.
Let me explain what it means to be created in God's image,
Ni amagambo meza cyane.
because these are good
Bibiliya
words.
y'Icyongereza ikoresha amagambo abiri.
The English Bible uses 2 words.
Ivuga image,
It speaks about image
ikavuga likeness.
and it speaks likeness.
Ishusho y'Imana
God's image,
harimo ibintu bitatu.
there are 3 things.
Ijambo rya mbere
The first thing,
mu Gifaransa byita ressemblance.
in French, it's called resemblance.
Bivuga ngo tugira kamero y'Imana.
Which means that we have the nature of God.
Uko Imana imeze niko tumeze.
Which means that we resemble how God is.
Uko Imana itekereza niko dutekereza.
The same way God thinks, the same way we think.
Ubushake bw'Imana nibwo bushake twogira.
God's will is the same will we may have.
Ibindi Imana yisanzemo kuko itaremwe.
So which means that God thinks he found himself as he was not created.
Yarabifashe byose irabiduplicatinga mu muntu.
And God duplicated everything in a man.
Hello?
Are we together?
Buriya umuntu waremye iPhone 12
So a person who manufactured iPhone 12,
yakoze imwe gusa.
he only did one. He only manufactured one.
Yabanje gukora zose.
He did not make all
Amaze gukora
versions.
imwe
So after making one,
arayeseya.
he tried it.
Abona iby'ingenzi byose agomba kwishyiramo byuzuye.
And then he saw that all the things that he ought to put in were
Hanyuma
full.
ayiheza inganda ngo muduplicating.
So he gave the factories to duplicate.
Ibiri muri iyi ngiyi byose
Whatever is in this iPhone,
mubishyire no mu zindi zisa nayo.
insert them in other phones.
Icyo nicyo bita likeness.
That is what we call
Ibiri mu Mana
whatever that is in God.
yarabifashe byose
He held them
ibiheza umuntu.
and he gave it to a
Iravuga
man.
ngo kuva none
He said, beginning from today,
urutumana namwe
you are also God.
ufite ubushobozi.
You have the
Nta
potential.
kintu na kimwe mutakora
There's nothing that you
kuko
can
ubushobozi
do.
bwanyu
Because in your potential,
n'ubwishobora byose.
it is for God's Almighty.
Niyo mpamvu Paul yabihishuriwe
That is why Paul got a
aravuga ngo
revelation.
nshobozwa byose
He said that I can do
na
all
Kristo
things
imbaraga
through Christ who
uko
strengthens me.
Kristo ari
Because the same way
niko
Christ
bene
is,
se bari.
that is the same way his people are.
Dukomere Imana yacu amashyi
Let's
menshi.
celebrate the Lord.
So umuntu arasa n'Imana.
A person looks like God.
Afite ibintu byose Imana ifite umuntu arabigira.
Everything God has, a man has.
Ntimukajya mutangazwa n'ibyo abantu bahinze.
So do not be amazed by the things that people
Kuba indege
make out.
zigendera mu kirere
For the aeroplanes to fly in the sky,
hari ibintu urimo gutekereza bizaba mu minsi iri imbere. Uno munsi mbivuze mwokumva ko nakabije, ariko ibyabaye bituma ndugura nk'amabateri bakayizirikaho bakavanga bakagera muri Amerika.
Sometimes I wonder or think that maybe people will buy batteries in the next century and they'll be flying from here to USA
Batagendeye ku ntaro,
without flying on the basket.
bagendeye kuri tekinoloji.
And they are flying using
Uko
technology.
ntekereje
So the way I'm thinking,
nimba bumva bidashoboka
if you think it is impossible,
mutegereze imyaka 50
wait for 50 years.
kuko nta wari uzi ko nibi bishoboka.
Because no one knew that this
Mu
could be
myaka
possible.
40 ishize
In 40 years ago,
ninde bari gutekereza ko
who would ever think
wicara ugataramana n'abantu bari muri Australia
that we may sit and have a conversation directly with people in
bakajya ku
Australia?
meza ubaruzi
They go to dine while you see
bakajya mu
them.
cyumba ubaruzi
They go in the sitting in
mukaganira
the
nk'aho
room.
mwicaranye
You speak as if you're seated together.
ukazona n'imyenda yambaye ukareba n'inkovu iri ku mubiri wiwe.
You see their clothing and then you see the scars on the
Wari
body.
kubivuga mu 1980
So if a person would speak that in
bari kumubwira
1980s,
ngo wavangiwe.
they would say maybe you are really
Wari
confused.
kuvuga ngo mvuganye n'umuntu uri muri Amerika
If a person would narrate a story of having
Bari
spoken
kuvuga
with
ngo
a person in
yavangiwe.
USA, they would say they are misconcepted. But you can see that is happening now. So all that capacity, it is not an accident. God blessed this in a person. You may either work under the potential, but when God created a man, he gave him the potential. So the day God rested to create, God had finished to do the handover with Adam. God said, I had finished whatever I ought to do. I am now resting. And you shall continue what I did not do. So he had God's likeness. The second thing it means, God's image, representation. Representation. If you want to know an American citizen in Rwanda, the way they work, the way they think, the way they operate, you go to their embassy because they have an embassy that presents them, and they have an ambassador who represents them. If you want to know God, you look upon the person who represents God. That is why Paul authored to the Corinthians that who are we? We are the messengers in representing Christ. In the English versions of the Bible and also French Bibles, they don't use the word messenger. We are the ambassadors.
We are ambassadors.
We are the ambassadors
on behalf of Christ.
Which means we represent the kingdom of God. If you want to know the power of the kingdom of God, you go to see how Christians behave. Because all the power, God has placed them in Christ. And those who receive Him, they received His power. When we walk, it is not us who are walking, but it's in Christ in us. That is why Paul said, I was crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who is living, but rather Christ living in me. I represent, I am the ambassador. That power is in the believers. I'm still speaking about God giving all the potentials. That is what representation or being an ambassador means. So the third explanation of being in God's image, it is the fellowship. A person who is in your image, you relate easily. A man and an animal cannot easily relate. So it needs constant training. So because the first reaction, if a man sees an animal, they have to be scared. But if you see a person who looks like you, you are the same. Because that is why Adam, when he saw Eve, he said that his soul under the underground and also in the sky. It was belonging to Adam. Adam was really rich. Every son and every land was in Adam. And every fruitful tree belonged to Adam. All the treasures, all the precious stones, all the birds belong to Adam. Imagine the potential God created a man with. That is what we are going to bring back in this. That is what this theme helps us to bring. Because of that reason, so a man was whole. The second thing I'm about to speak, I say that firstly, the potential is inborn. Second, the potential God gives you, you have to protect it. You have to guard or to protect it. You have to keep it safe. One of the things Adam did in the Garden of Eden, he felt only two things. The first, he failed to fellowship with those he ought to fellowship with. The second, he failed to keep safe those he ought to keep safe. The third, he failed to be dominion where he had to be dominion. And he had received all the three things. He had received fellowship with God and also to fellowship with the wife. He was asked to keep safe of that woman. And he was asked to carry on dominion upon everything, the creatures. Let me elaborate this. Adam ought to fellowship with God and restrain himself to listen to other voices. He had to keep the relationship with God because he had been created in God's image. The reason that's why God created a man, God wanted to be with the man and they lived together. Till now, that is God's mission to people. The word that says that I'm standing on the door knocking. Whoever who listens to my voice shall open for me to come in, for me to have fellowship, for me to dine with them. Beginning from the time of Adam up to this time. That is the greatest message of the Bible. Because that is why God created a man. His joy was to live with the man, was to have fellowship with the man. Whenever you see you've come to the fellowship, get to know that you have come to fulfill your fellowship with God. And then Adam welcomed the devil in the house. Instead of continuing the fellowship with God, Satan came in. He began to speak. They listened to him. When you stop listening to God, you begin to listen to what is ungodly. When you begin to listen to ungodly, you lose the voice of God. Every time you listen, you pay attention to the voice that is ungodly, you have missed the voice of the Lord. Jesus spoke it very well. My sheep know my voice, and I know their voice. So your fellowship with God. So our full potential, we do not derive it from our schools. It's not even the hair we get from the families. Neither something that we purchase. Neither something from our families. But it is our fellowship with God. The time you are in the fellowship with God, you are in the full potential. I love the words of John. That time I went in the spirit. When you go in the spirit, we are in the potential. Our body cannot usher us in the potential. Our mind cannot even usher us in the potential. But the Spirit of the Lord that is in us, this is our strength. Jesus told the disciples, go into Jerusalem. You shall receive the power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. You shall be my witness Even in education,
ni umwuka,
he is the Spirit.
si kwa silaha,
It's not by the
si kwa
power.
majeshi,
It's not even
ni
by the
kwa Roho
strength,
Mtakatifu.
but by the power of the Holy
Imbaraga
Ghost.
tuvuge,
The power we are speaking
ni
about.
z'umwuka wera,
It is the power of the Holy Ghost.
umwuka w'imbaraga.
The Spirit of the
Iyo
power.
yageze mu muntu,
When he has come in the
hari ibyo
person,
ahindura,
there are some things that he
hari ibyo
changes.
asobanura,
There are some things that he
hari
gets to
ibyo
explain.
ahishura,
There are things
hari
that he
ibyo
gets to
agaragaza
resolve.
umuntu,
There are things that he brings.
aduterura,
He lifts us.
akatujyana
He takes us. Hallelujah.
mu ntege nke zacu,
In our weaknesses,
ajya twingingira,
he intercedes for us.
akatuzamura,
And he lifts us.
akadukuza,
And he matures
tukagera
us.
ku kigero cyiza cya
And we
Kristo,
go to the full level of grace.
tugahinduka abanyembaraga,
We begin to become the
zitari
powerful,
kavukire,
not by
ariko
nature,
zivuye ku Mana.
but coming from
Dukomere
God.
Imana yacu
Let's
amashyi.
appreciate the Lord. Hallelujah.
hashimwe Yesu
Praise be to God,
wampuje n'Imana,
who united me with Christ,
akashyira mu mbaraga,
and he put me in the power and the potential.
atakaza ubusabane.
He lost the fellowship.
Icya kabiri,
The second,
ananirwa kurinda.
he failed to guard.
Buriya umunsi avuga ngo nakara ko mumara,
The time you see that he's bone of my bone, flesh bone of my
yari
bone,
yihaye inshingano yo kuvuga ngo nzamurinda.
he was committing to keep her safe.
Hari umuntu utarinda umubiri wiwe,
Is there any person who doesn't keep safe
ariko
their
Eva,
body? But Eve,
Adamu ntiyamurinda,
Adam did not keep her safe.
Satani aramwinjirana.
And the devil intruded.
Hari abagabo benshi
There are so many men
batarinze imiryango yabo.
who are not keeping safe for their families.
Tujya tuvuga ngo Eva yaraduhemukiye, ntiyahemutse.
We usually say that Eve really disappointed us.
Muzarebe n'ibihano.
Even the punishments.
Umuntu wahanywe cyane ni Adamu.
Adam is the one who received more punishments.
Eva Imana yabwiye ngo uzabyara,
Imagine only God telling Eve that you shall give birth.
ariko Adamu ikamubwira ngo uzarya wiyusha kuya.
But God told, out of your sweat you shall get bread.
Iramubwira ngo kubera wowe ubutaka buravumwe,
Because of you, the earth is
uzahinga
cursed.
byange kwera,
You shall dig, it shall never
uzameza
grow.
amahwa n'ibitovu.
And only thorns will come
Ariko
out
yagera
of your
kuri
crops.
Eva,
But when God came to
akamubwira ngo
Eve,
kubyara uzabyara,
you shall give birth.
niko kumubwira ngo urakabyara.
It's as he said that blessed be you.
Imana
to
ni
give birth.
nyembabazi.
God is merciful.
Dukomere Imana yacu amashyi.
Let's appreciate the Lord.
Muzi impamvu?
Do you know the reason?
Nuko
It is because
ikosa si irya Eva,
the mistake was not
ikosa ni irya Adamu.
for Eve, it was
Yananiwe
for...
kurinda urugo.
He failed to keep safe of his family.
Nutarinda urugo rwawe,
If you don't keep safe of your family,
mayibobo zizarwinjira.
the thugs will come in.
Nutarinda urugo rwawe,
If you don't keep safe of your
inzerezi
family,
zizarwinjira.
the vagabonds will come in.
Nutarinda urugo rwawe mugabo,
You man, if you don't keep safe
abadayimoni bazinjira.
of your family, demons will come
Abana
in.
nibarwara amapepo mu rugo,
So if children suffer from
ikibazo si
demons,
icy'umugore,
the issue is not for
kuko
women,
umugabo ni umurinzi w'urugo.
because a man is the one
So
to keep
muba
safe
abarinzi
family.
b'ingo zanyu.
So you have to keep safe
Niba
of your
mushaka
family.
imbaraga mu ngo zanyu,
If you need potential, in
muba
your
abarinzi
family,
b'ingo zanyu,
learn to keep guard of your
muhagarare mu
families.
mbaraga.
You have to stand in the
Buriya
potential.
urugo rutayobowe n'umugore,
A family that is not led by a woman,
kubera yuko umugabo atagihari,
because a man no longer lives,
nta wundi ugomba kururinda n'umugabo.
there's no single person who has to keep it
Igihe
safe.
cyose umugabo akiri mu rugo,
So long as the man is still
niwe
in the family,
murinzi w'urugo.
he is the one to keep safe for the
Bwira umugabo
family.
ukwegereye
Turn to a man next to
ngo
you.
uri umurinzi w'urugo rwawe,
You are the protector of your family.
urubere maso.
Please keep it safe.
Mubwire ngo urubere maso,
Turn to the person next
ubere
to you.
amaso umugore wawe,
You have to keep an eye
ubere maso
on your
abana
family.
bawe.
You have to keep an eye on your
Buriya
children.
abagore,
Usually women,
iyo umugabo abyutse,
when a man wakes up,
umugore azabyuka.
a woman wakes up.
Iyo umugabo anebwe,
When a man becomes lazy,
umugore azarambarara.
a woman will sleep, will lie down.
So hagarara mu rugo rwawe,
So stand in your family.
hagarara mu mwanya wawe,
Stand in your God.
gipange sawa sawa.
Position yourself.
Adamu,
Adam,
hagarara neza.
position yourself.
Kuko Adamu bisobanura umugabo
So because Adam means a man
cyangwa umuntu.
or else a human being.
Kindi yananiwe gukora,
Another thing he failed to do, he failed to give rules and regulations in the home. Many of the families, they are living like Eden. It's only women who are giving rules. So if a woman is the one who gives the rules and regulations in the family, so you are still in the same side. You have an issue because that family has been attacked. I'm not despising women, but according to the protocol, Adam had to give the guidelines, the policies of the home. So you shall even see it when a man doesn't have the laws. Even children behave the way they want. So if you see children becoming rebels, you have to question about the leadership of their family. In other words, he is the one who had to lead. He had to tell Eve that this is my home. We only have the word of God here. We have the promises of God. There are things that do not come in a home. Where did you get the voice of the devil? The voice that tells you that what the Lord gave you is little. Where did you get that voice? But Adam, he was open. So whatever the woman tells you, don't have to be a recipient. Just get to know how to segregate things. I don't want to speak more of that. Listen to your wife. But take care of what you're going to put in action. Because as soon as you put them in action and it fails, when it fails, and then you say, you were the one who brought the idea. They will ask you, am I the man who takes decision in this home? You have to be sure enough of the decisions to take in the home. Because a woman gives the advice. And all the counsels or the advices you give. Yes, you're a man. Get a decision. Make a decision. The potentials have to be kept safe. Third, as I come to the fourth, when you do not guard properly, when you do not protect of your potentials, you face the consequences. I was amazed by this. I analyzed the life of Adam and I saw all the things he lost. Let me speak only about 5. But I had written like 8. The first thing, as soon as he obeyed the woman to eat upon the fruit, he lost the glory and the beauty of the Lord. Let me tell you this. Our potentials are only in the presence of God. Every time you don't have God's presence in your home, your home is open wide. In other words, our strength and power, it's only by the power and the glory and the presence of God. A family that is standing healthy in the spirit, even if attacks may come, yes, issues may come, waves may come, they did not go into that house because it was built on the foundation.
ubwiza bw'Imana,
when he lost the glory of the Lord,
abatakaje no gukiranuka kwiwe.
and he lost also the righteousness.
Kuko gukiranuka kwacu
Because our righteousness,
kuba mu bwiza bw'Imana.
it is only in the presence
Iyo
of
Kristo
the Lord.
ari muri twebwe,
When Christ is in us,
duhinduka abakiranutsi.
we become to be
Iyo atari
righteous.
Kristo mu buzima bw'umuntu,
When there's no Christ in the
ni
human life,
umunyabyaha nubwo yoba yitwararika ku mategeko.
you are a sinner even if you may be cautioned through the laws.
Atakaza ubwiza bw'Imana,
He lost the glory of the Lord,
aba umunyabyaha ugenda wihishe.
and he began to run
Ikizakwereka
away as a
umunyabyaha
sinner. What
uburyo agenda yihishe.
What will show you that a person is a sinner? They will go while they're hiding.
Sinzi niba hari umuntu wari waguriza amafaranga wamukunze yayagusabye.
I don't know if you have never lent money to someone.
Wamuhamagara akazimya telefone.
When you call them, they switch off their phone.
Ukamuhamagara gatanu atayifata.
And then you call them 5 times when they do not when they're not picking.
Sabaki mirongo.
Those are not people from Kimirongo.
Ugatira telefone y'undi muntu.
And then you borrow someone's phone,
Wa muntu akamuhamagara.
and then that person calls,
Pana wewe.
not you.
Akamubwira ngo nagushakaga.
And they say, I want you.
Nta kibazo twavugana.
Yes, it's okay, we can talk.
Reka nguheze umuntu wagushakaga.
Let me give you the person who needs to talk
Ngo
to
ndi mu
you.
isoko.
And then they tell you, I am in the market.
Umunyabyaha ahunga ntawe umwirukanye.
So a sinner will flee when there's no one
Niba
who is
ufitanye
chasing.
ikibazo n'umuntu,
If you have an issue with the person,
reka guhunga.
do not flee.
Icara muganire.
Just sit and you talk.
Ndetse uburyo bwiza bwo kumubwira amakuru.
And even the good way to tell them the
Wamubwira ngo
news.
narayabuze.
You just tell them that I can't
Niba
find your money.
gufunga,
So if they're to jail you, please,
sinzongera kuguhunga.
I will never flee from you.
Babwire iki kintu.
Let me tell you this.
Muri 2002,
In 2002,
2001, nari ntarashaka.
2001, before I married,
Nagurije inshuti, nagiraga inshuti imwe mu gihugu, imwe.
I had one friend in the country.
Niwe wazaga nimero ya mbere.
That was my first friend.
Muguriza 50,000.
I lent them 50,000.
Murumva ko atari menshi.
It was really not much.
Noneho
And then,
yari yambwiye ko azayampa mu cyumweru kimwe.
so they had told me that they would give me that money in 1 week.
Icyumweru kirashira sinamwibutsa.
1 week, I did not remind them.
N'icya kabiri sinamwibutsa.
Second week, I did not remind them.
Nagiraga mobile we ntayo yari afite icyo gihe.
I had the mobile phone. He didn't have the
Zari
mobile
zifite
phone.
abantu bakeya.
It's only a few who had mobile
Umunsi
phones.
umwe turahura hariya kuri minisiteri Kacyiru.
And then one time we met at ministerial
Ambonye.
offices. When he saw me,
Nari nsohotse muri Minedike Muzahiba.
you know where Minedik is. I was
Aho
coming
kugira
out.
ngo aze tuganire,
Instead of coming so that we may
yama
talk,
yinjira kanserege n'agakarite kari inyuma yaho ngira ngo.
and then he passed in the small pathway that goes to
Jewe
Kanserege.
sinashobora kumuhamagara kuri telefone nishaka kumukurikira.
So I could not call him on a phone,
Ngiye
but I wanted
kumubwira
to.
ngo
I was going to tell
reka
him,
kumpunga
do not flee from me.
tubane neza.
Let us live
Nuyabona
in harmony.
uzayampa nutayabona umubano ukomeze.
If you get the money, you shall give it to me. If you don't, we shall keep it.
Yamanyura mu mazu aranyeregeta ndagaruka.
So of course, he fled and he went into
Ubwa
the small
kabiri
way.
njya muri konseri ya alarme.
And then second time I went to Alam
Nabwo
concert.
ndamubona bari bagakora konseri ahantu hitwa mu Kanogo.
So they were still hosting the concerts in Kanogo. When he saw me,
Anyura mu bantu mbura hagiye.
so he penetrated through a crowd of people. I did not know where he went.
Nandika kandiko.
So I wrote a small
Kitwa
letter.
remise de date. Kavuga ngo uwo mwenda ngugukuriyeho.
So which means that I have given that date to you,
Ariko ndakugaye.
but I've despised you.
Kuva umunsi Adamu akora icyaha,
Ever since Adam sinned,
Imana yakoze nk'uko
God was asking, where are you?
ndagushaka.
I need you.
Garuka mu mbaraga.
Come back in the
Garuka
power.
twiyunge.
Come so that we may have a
Ndabizi
relationship.
umwanzi yakoheje.
I know the devil has
Adamu we
deceived
uri
you.
hehe?
Adam, where are you?
Kugira ngo Adamu aze
Instead of Adam
avuge
coming
ngo mana we
and then said, oh God,
nakoze igitangaza.
I have messed up.
Ibyo wambwiye nabirenzeho.
Whatever you told me, I have
Adamu
gone against
akomeza
it.
guhunga.
Adam continued to
Ariko ijwi
flee.
ry'imbabazi
But the merciful
riravuga ngo
voice,
Adamu
he
we
said, Adam,
uri hehe?
where are you?
Mpagaze ku rugi ndakomanga.
I'm standing on the door and I'm knocking.
Njya mbivuga hano.
I usually speak it here.
Ryazwi ryabazaga Adamu ngo uri
The same voice that was asking Adam, where are you? It is still asking the sinner, where are you? The nature that was in Adam, a person commits a sin, instead of seeking God, they rather flee. He lost the potential he had.
Activate your full potential.
So when you speak about activating your full potential, it is because ever since the time of Adam, he lost it. So I will tell you where we get it from. He lost all his potential.
yamubazaga ngo Adamu we byagenze utakavuga ngo numugore nuko ngo ububasha yahani zova n'umugore abumugore ibaje umugore avuga ngo ninzoka ibaje inzoka iraceceka kuko niyo yari bufite ububasha bwavuye ku mugabo bunyura ku mugore bugera ku nzoka iraburyamana.
Now, when God asked Adam, where is your potential? He said that it is in Eve. When Eve was questioned, he said that this is the devil. And the devil, when he was questioned, he kept silent. So which means the devil
atakaza ubutunzi bwose.
And he lost all his treasures and riches. So many families are standing in this position. Their riches, their riches or their treasures have been filled because of what they do. There are some men who receive their salaries and the money does not come at home. And they go to feed or to make the concubines survive. There are women who receive money. And then their money is being spent by the sugar bosses. And then you say that you have a devourer. You have failed to keep safe and protect. Whatever you have not kept safe, of course you lose it. I usually tell people, if you have something valuable, please keep it safe. Something that we call a devourer is not even it is because of we do not manage well what we have. I've spent 21 years, almost 22 years, having a driving license that allows me to drive a car. It's only 4 times that I've paid fines, traffic fines. And there's no single day that they did mistakenly. There's no devourer. But I was not careful. So recently, when they find me, I was caught by Sophia, and I was on the phone. And a person calls you and they say, "No, Bishop, pray for me because now I'm being fined so much by the police cops on the street." It's not a devourer. You are just doing contrary with the law. You are not careful. Because you're not keeping what you have valuable. You have your own land and you do not register it. So if you lose that land, it's not even demons. But you did not pay the taxes. And then penalties come. It is not penalty. It's because you don't know the value of the riches and the treasures. You have money. And you contribute towards all the weddings. I'm not stopping you from contributing. But sometimes you do not contribute, but you're just distributing money. Everyone cannot feed them, and you cannot support all the people. And even Jesus did not do it. Protect what you have. Keep safe what God gave you. If you do not keep it safe, you shall face the consequences. You earn 1 million per month. There's no single day you save 100,000. So you mean that you are always permanent in that job? That is where believers are dying from. And they say, we just survive because of God. God, yes, God will make you to survive, but He gave you wisdom. If you lose the wisdom, I will abandon you. Live a life compared to the level you are in. So if you don't protect, you face the consequences. So youth, young people, you have to understand this, that you have to protect the potentials.
Kuva muri 2005 kugera none ntarasoma igitabo cy'amategeko ntazi itegeko rishasha nta seminere nimwe ajyamo nta gitabo cya sonsa arasoma ngo mfite diplome ntayo mfite umutwe ubusa.
Imagine you have a degree in law and you got the degree in 2005, but from then up to now you have not even read one single book and you do not even know the current law. You are just empty. Abraham is different from Adam.
Chitangira umurongo wa 14 murasanga yaragira abantu 318 bashinzwe kumurinda.
You shall find in Genesis chapter 14 verses 14 he had 318 people trained to keep him safe.
Biravuga mu gice cya 13 umurongo wa 2 ngo yarakize cyane ngo atunga amatungo atunga izahabu atunga ifeza. Iyo umuntu yabaye umutunzi azana shemesha azana keke security azana intersec azana garsec ubutunzi burarindwa.
The Genesis chapter 13 verses 2, whenever you become wealthy, you have to bring all the security companies to keep you safe and keep safe of your own. Even in the spiritual way, the riches you have to keep them safe. You have to protect and guard the spirit in you. If you continue to hang out with the pagans, they will still revive in you. They will diminish the power in you. They will quench you. Get to know people you hang out with. I know what the Bible says that those who believe in God, they shall put on the power as an eagle. I will speak about this in the afternoon. But one of the characteristics of an eagle, it only flies alone. It does not fly with the doves or the swallows. It flies high and it goes high in the sky. In other words, there are some people you do have to associate with. There are people you have to not associate with for you to continue in the power. If you do not disconnect yourself, they will steal the potential you have. You shall be like Samson. The day he failed to depart, the power and the strength was his. He looked for it and could not get it. The Lilas, there are many who want to diminish the power. Be like an eagle, fly high, fly alone, go in another realm, you meet the Spirit of the Lord. All of those who want to pull you down, you tell them that those who believe in God, we shall put on the strength of the latter days. The strength of the last cannot support you in the journey of today. And then you say, ever since we used to pray, what are you doing now? Last. Jesus is the source of our strength and potential. What the angels failed. The first Adam, He brought sin.
Adamu wa mbere
The first Adam.
yinjije kunanirwa.
He brought failure.
Adamu wa mbere
The first Adam.
yinjije kutumvira.
He brought disobedience.
Adamu wa mbere
The first Adam.
yinjije urupfu.
He will come death.
Adamu wa mbere
The first Adam.
n'umubiri n'umunyantege nke.
He is weak and
Adamu wa
flesh.
kabiri
But the second Adam.
yashimwe Yesu
Praise be to God.
waje kuduhuza n'Imana.
Who came to unite us
Dore
with the
ibintu
Lord.
Yesu yakoze.
This is what Jesus said.
Icyambere
The first thing he did.
yagaruye ubusabane bwacu n'Imana.
He brought the relationship with God.
Abatsinzwe n'amategeko
Those who failed to the Lord,
yarabatsindishirije.
he made them to conquer and
Abagenda
overcome.
guhunga n'Imana
And those who were going contrary with
yabahuje
God,
n'Imana.
he united them with
Abari
God.
abo gupfa
Those who were to
yabahaye
die,
ubugingo.
he gave them life.
Abari abakene
Those who were poor,
biva ku muvumo.
that comes from the curse.
Yesu yaje ari umunyamugisha.
Jesus came as a
Imana
blessing.
iramuduheza
And God gave him to
imuduhana
us.
n'ibindi byose.
He gave us with full
Imbaraga
pleasure.
zacu
Our strength.
ntabwo tuzikura mu miryango.
We don't get the potential from the families.
Tuzikura mu mategeko.
We don't even get them from the laws.
Tuzishakamo ubwacu.
We don't
Shobozwa byose.
but we can do
Na
all
Kristo umpa
things
imbaraga.
through Christ who strengthens
Ishobora
me.
gukora rwose.
Yes, it can happen.
Ibirenze ibyo twibwira.
We can do exceedingly
Nibyo
abundantly
dutekereza.
beyond our
Kuko
imaginable,
imbaraga zayo
as His
ariko
power
zidukoreramo.
works in us.
Arimo aravuga Emmanuel.
Speaking about
Kristo
Emmanuel,
muri twebwe.
Christ in
Niwe
us.
mbaraga zacu.
He is our strength.
Kubera Kristo.
Because of Christ,
Torero turi abanyembaraga.
we are powerful.
Kubera Kristo.
Because of Christ,
Twasubiranye pozisiyo yacu.
we repositioned ourselves.
Kubera Kristo.
Because of Christ,
Umwuka w'imbaraga yaje kuba muri twebwe.
even the spiritual power and strength came to
Iyo
dwell in
niyo nkuru
us.
nziza y'ubwami.
That is the good
Iyo
gospel
niyo
of the
teme yacu
kingdom.
y'uyu mwaka.
That is our theme of the
Nuko
year.
muri Kristo
It's because in
ariyo
Christ,
tuvoma imbaraga.
that is where we fetch
Nuko
the
Umwuka
power.
Wera
It is that the Holy
ariwe
Spirit
agenti w'imbaraga.
is the agent of
So mu
strength.
yandi magambo,
In other words,
activating
kwisha kamo,
ni ukwikonekita muri Yesu.
it is to connect in Christ.
Niba waragezemo
If you are in Christ,
gumamo.
remain there.
Niba waragezemo
If you are in Christ,
komereramo.
abide in
Niba
Him.
waragezemo
If you are in Him,
kuriramo.
mature in
Niba
Him.
waragezemo
If you are in Him,
aho nyine urahari.
you are right in the
Urushinge
right position.
rwawe
Your connection
rukomereza aho ngaho.
has to keep on
Muri we
drilling.
hari imbaraga.
In Him there is
Muri we
power.
hari ubushobozi.
In Him there is potential.
Abasore bazananirwa.
Men will grow weary.
Ariko abasore biringiye Uwiteka
But those who believe in Christ,
bazambara imbaraga sha.
they shall put on the
Bazagenda
new strength.
ntibazananirwa.
They shall go and they shall
Bazagenda
never grow weary.
ntibazacogora.
They shall walk and they shall not
Kubera
faint.
iki?
Why?
Kristo niwe mbaraga zacu.
Christ is our strength.
Mwakira ijambo ry'Imana.
Receive the word of God.
Ndashaka gusenga.
I want to pray.
Duhaguruke dusenge.
Let's stand up and pray.
Mbere yuko nkomeza,
Before I continue,
ndashaka kubaza umuntu wakira Yesu nk'umwami n'umukiza.
I want to see if there is any person who wants to receive Christ as Jesus.
N'umuntu uri mu
and Savior.
buzima bw'ubupagani bugaragaza neza yuko agomba gukizwa.
If you are a pagan and you really know that you want to receive
Ugakora
Jesus,
engagement itandukanye n'izo wigeze ukora.
and you do an engagement that is better than
Niba uri hano
any other
utambukane
you
ngusengere.
did. If you're here, please come forward.
Sinzi indirimbo mwabonye. Niba uri hano utarakizwa nawe uzi. Niba ushaka kongera guhagarara muri izo mbaraga uzi.
If you want also to stand in that power, please come forward.
Nturebe abandi.
Do not consider others.
Jehovah, Jehovah, ndacyategereje uwo muntu wundi. Niba hari, niba udahari ngiye gusengera uyu nguyu.
I'm still waiting. If there
Uri
is anyone.
online anyumve.
And if you're online,
kandi nzi
abantu atambuka. Uyu ni umwanya mwiza. Rusubira yuko waje. Wikonekite ku mbaraga.
If you're still
kuri screen cyangwa kuri telefone yawe nawe ufatanye nawe.
And if you're following online, you shall repeat after Bishop.
Hari benshi dufasha muri ubu buryo kandi ibintu byose bigahinduka.
There's so many we help in such way and things turn around.
Ibisaba ko duhagarara nawe.
It doesn't need us to stand with you.
Nuzumva aya makuru nyuma y'iyi nyigisho.
Whoever who will listen after this sermon,
uzahagare mu kwizera wakira Yesu umwami n'umukiza.
please may stand in faith and receive
vuga aya magambo ngiye kuvuga.
Please repeat after Bishop.
Subira muri aya magambo. Vuga ngo mwami Yesu, ndashaka kuba icyaremwe gisha. Uno munsi nta gahato. Fasha icyemezo cyo kwakira Yesu mu buzima bwawe. Kuva none ndashaka gutandukana n'umuntu wa kera. Kuva none ndashaka kuba icyaremwe gisha. Kuva none nemeye Yesu, mwakiriye mu buzima bwanje nk'umwami. Aze ategeke. Kuva none usibe izina ryanje mu gitabo cy'abarimbuka. Wandike izina ryanje mu gitabo cy'ubugingo. Reka dusenge. Mana gushima.
I thank you.
Wakoze.
Thank you, Lord.
Kutwibutsa isoko y'imbaraga zacu.
To remind us the source of our potential.
Kristo,
Christ,
wakunze abari mu isi cyane,
who loved people in the world,
akabapfira,
and he died for them.
Niwe ababeni data bakiriye.
He is the one the brethren have received.
Kristo niwe wombwira.
Christ, I speak to you.
Uze ube mu buzima bwabo.
Come and be in their lives.
Ubakuremo ibyabo bya kera.
Father, remove the old sins.
Ubayobore mu gukiranuka.
And you lead them in righteous.
Umwuka wera.
Spirit of the Lord.
Umwuka w'imbaraga.
Spirit of the power.
Abuzuza imbaraga.
May he fill you with the power.
Ahindura ubuzima bwabo.
And may he change your lives.
Ndagushima.
I thank you
kubikoze.
That you have done it.
Bakuwe mu gitabo cy'abarimbuka.
Remove them from the book of the dead.
Bashizwe mu gitabo cy'ubugingo.
And you put them in the book of life.
Kuva none.
Beginning from today.
Umwuka wera.
The Spirit of the Lord.
Abashoboze kugenda nk'uko ushaka.
Good God.
Utwibukije amakuru meza.
You have reminded us of the good news. That you created us with the potential.
N'ubushobozi.
And with the strength and power.
Kwari kubwo bushobozi waturemanye.
The abilities that you placed in us.
Bwagombaga kurindwa.
They had to be protected.
Kwariko kubera kutaburinda.
But because of not protecting,
bwatuzaniye ingaruka.
We faced the consequences.
Harimo no gupfa.
Including death.
Harimo no gutakaza ubwiza bwawe.
Including loss of your glory, including also leaving your presence. But Christ came for the sheep to have life and in abundance. You are our power. You're the one who enables us. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. It's not the inborn power, but it's the potential that you place in us. The power that is in Christ, may they be activated in our lives. May it give us to conquer the sin, and may it change us, and may it make us to be standing and witnessing. We thank you, Lord, that you continue to expand this word in our lives. We appreciate you and we thank you.